Welcome back to part 3, where we look at some of the past and potential future investments in dynamic US companies that the flagship global funds can access. Artificial intelligence is a result of American Dynamism. Now, we can think of the easy companies that would sit here, such as NVIDIA or Broadcom, but let's go one or two steps further. Artificial intelligence needs a lot of data to build its intelligence models, and hence it needs a lot of data centers. And if we see here, up to date, the US has more data centers than all of the other companies combined. And data centers use a lot of energy as they are very power hungry. On the next slide, I'm going to show you the planned data centers that are about to be built in America and for the rest of the world, and the amount of energy that these new data centers will require. For the new data centers, America is going to need an additional 17 gigawatts of electricity. For the rest of the world combined, their incremental energy needs are 7 gigawatts. To put this into context, 17 gigawatts is equivalent to the energy demand of 3 New York cities. So you can see now that America has created an ecosystem for where dynamic US energy providers can flourish. So if we look at EQT Corporation, that is an American natural gas producer. It is a 150-year-old gas company, but it is now one of the biggest providers of energy to the data centers in America. We bought EQT Corporation in October 2024, and in the 8 months since, it has returned 50%. Helion Energy is a startup that is aiming to develop fusion power, which is the holy grail of energy, in that it can provide clean and limitless energy. The sun works off fusion power. So this is backed by a VC, including Sam Altman, who himself is a co-founder of OpenAI, a very important company in the world. And he calls Helion the most important company in the world. One day, Helion is going to list, and Flagship would have access to buying their shares. Aerospace and defense. The US spends more on aerospace and defense than all the countries on the right combined. Again, this creates an environment and a platform for all dynamic US companies in the aerospace and defense sector. SpaceX, which is a private company founded by Elon Musk, but valued at $350 billion, has been a beneficiary. When it first started, the majority of all its revenue came from contracts with NASA and the US government. It's difficult for me to imagine that SpaceX would be as successful if it was operating outside of the US. Again, one day SpaceX is going to go public and list, and Flagship will have access to buying their shares. Lockheed Martin, they build the F-35 fighter jets. They also build the SR-71 Blackbird, and they're about to deliver the SR-72 Darkstar, pictured here, each one worth $1 billion. The SR-72 Darkstar is hypersonic and can achieve speeds of Mach 6. That's 6 times the speed of sound. That means that you can get on a flight from here in South Africa to the UK in 1.5 hours, or from Cape Town to Joburg in 10 minutes. The US is also at the forefront of biotech. Neuralink, another company founded by Elon Musk, can translate thoughts into action. Gilead Sciences has developed a prophylactic which prevents 100% of infections. An Alphabet or Google subsidiary, DeepMind, has developed tailor-made drugs to treat cancer and Alzheimer's. Intuitive Surgical is the developer of the Da Vinci robotic surgical system. One of the benefits is that the doctor can be sitting in New York City operating on a patient sitting on a bed in Dubai. The other benefits include that the doctor or surgeon can be seated whilst performing an operation, which helps a lot when some operations are 7 to 8 hours long. The doctor or surgeon can also has enhanced vision and also has increased precision, as the pincers at the end of the robotic arms gives amplified touch feedback to the surgeon's hands. Each circle here represents a unicorn in the tech sector alone. And given that these are startups, it does mean that at some point in the future, say the next 5 to 7 years, these companies will list. It shows that the US can expect to continue producing disproportionate amounts of dynamic companies that Flagship's global funds can access. So why Flagship? Flagship is a specialist global manager. Flagship's first fund was in 2001, and it was a global fund. Now, many of the South African fund managers first started investing locally, and later in their timeline started investing in global funds. So that's where one of our differences lie. Global funds are in our DNA. We have a 25-year track record, and we've been fortunate enough to be one of the most awarded boutiques in South Africa. Thank you very much for listening to the discussion, and I hope you found it insightful.